Alright, wanted to do a video here on gold. So the last one that I made was this nice little pop that we had up above 1560, and at that point I was really looking at this 1580 level as being our next target to hit. Pretty funny, right after that video was published and put out, the price dipped back down. We actually had a wick here on the hourly chart that was below 1550. Besides that, we really just kind of bounced around 1550. And then we did pop above 1560 as well. And it wasn't until late in the week that we saw a rise, and now we have actually popped up towards that 1580 mark. So we did make it there, just not necessarily what I had in mind for how we were going to get there. Nonetheless, we are now trading up at 1580, and a lot of this is due to the tension that we have with the Middle East, along with the fact of this virus over in Asia, and now that it is spreading over to North America and into the States, is kind of getting people on edge and just leading to a little bit more volatility in the market. And where people turning, it seems to be over the past year or so, times of unease, that people are turning to gold as a safe haven. And even though the market is recovering from a lot of this volatility, the price of gold is still increasing. Year to date, so far, I think we're up a little over 3% here on gold. I can try and push this out, and let's see here. So here's the start of the year. Down here, we'll call it right around 1524. We are now trading up here. So yeah, a little over 3.5%. So the price of gold continuing to rise, even with overall market continuing to rise. So I think if there is some sort of significant deterioration in the overall market, I'll go ahead and throw that up there. You can see we're already down 33 points. It's Sunday evening, rolling into Monday. Let's see if this will pull up. Okay, so you can see this gap down that we've had. This is on the 4-hour chart. This is the E-mini futures. And you can see this breakdown that we've had over the past couple of days. What I'm trying to show you here is that the market overall is moving in the upward direction. And really, when we see the spikes in gold is when we see these the volatility increase in the overall market, and we see quick reversals. And you see a spike in gold, but then when the market rallies back up, the whole move in gold does not go away. It'll dip down a little bit, regain support, and then move forward to the upside. So I think when we have these times of increased volatility and the price declining in the overall market, more and more people are going to start turning to gold. I just wanted to point that out here. I'll go ahead and put the gold futures back on. What I will be looking for, I'll go ahead and move this into the hourly, so we can get a little bit more action here. But really, I'd like to see, the price kind of consolidate right in here, a little bit of a bubble below 1580, and then just pop through it. It could be that we slowly creep through it, but I'm not 100% sure that we will really just kind of slowly move through it. You can see when we initially had the pop, when the prices or when the futures opened here Sunday evening, we did have a pop above 1580. Actually getting above 1585, and then it was quickly sold down. You can see that next hour we actually came down here around the low 15 or the mid 1570s, and now we're just kind of trading back and forth. And it could be that we actually even come down into the low 1570s before consolidating and making that move above 1580. But I do see that coming at some point this week. And then after that, what would be the next target? The next target would be up here around 1595. And then really we could see the momentum just drive us all the way through 1600. And then maybe on to make new highs. I think that might be a lot to take on this week. it is possible, especially if there's a lot of volatility in the market and people are trying to move towards gold as a safe haven. It's very well possible. Just something to keep an eye on, and just, to be in the loop with. But could be a little bit of a dip back down since we have had this nice little gap up. You can see about 0.5% here on gold. Prior to seeing the push through 1580. Let's go ahead and look at GLD, as that is what a lot of people are trading. So this is going to be the gold-based ETF. You can see we are now up close to that that 149 mark. And really, this could be the same scenario where we open tomorrow higher, and then we dip back down, maybe close to these low 148s. Potentially, I'm not saying that's possible. If you're trying to get a dip buy, maybe you missed out on an opportunity back here. I'm not saying that it'll dip that low, or could even dip lower if the market pops open really well tomorrow. Overall, S&P opens up very well and people kind of retract out of gold. We could end up down here in the mid 147s. I think would be a nice little buy based off of this high here, this after hours high right back in here, and even this top that we saw a couple of weeks ago, which was in the low 147. So just a couple levels to look at. The next level following this right in here, so I would call this right in here, right in the high 148s. Up to 149. I would say if we break through that, or when we break through that, the next mark would be somewhere up here. I would say anywhere from 150 to 150 and a quarter, to really just see us get to that point and then hold above it. Would be a good sign of this continued upward trend, and then we can maybe go on and make new highs based off of this this after hours high that we set back here. So just some levels to look at. Again, if we were to move to the downside, let's look around 147.50, and then maybe somewhere down here around 146. The high 146s up to 147. So just a couple levels to look at. So hopefully this video helped you guys out a little bit, maybe allowed you to see something that you hadn't before. Again, the overall trend here with gold, over really the past couple of years. If you look back, you could take it back say 4 years, but over the past year we have really seen some nice growth in gold, exploding through that 6-year downtrend, and now just really pushing forward. So it looks as if the month of January we've done pretty well, and we've set ourselves up to have potentially very good February as well. So thank you guys for watching.